Hi, everybody. My name is Scott. I'm from C14G. We are a cyber security solutions provider for small and medium business. You can find us on c14g.com, or you may have found this video from our website already. Regardless, I wanted to discuss some of the finer points about ransomware. It's been in the news forever, so I kind of wanted to give just a general overview of what is ransomware, what can you do to help prevent it, some of the most common mistakes people make on the IT industry. How do you know if you've been hit with ransomware and how to recover from it if possible? I'll tell you right now, I'm going to show you a few articles here. The first one, let's go ahead and turn it on and minimize myself down here to the corner. Well, I'm not minimizing myself, but I am if you get the joke. I wanted to point out right here, we can see the FBI says anyone on the internet should expect to be attacked by cybercriminals. For the most part, that's accurate. They can be attacked by cyber criminals. I don't necessarily know if they're going to be. Obviously, the FBI knows more than I do, or you do, or most people out there. But I think the point that they're trying to instill is that anyone on the internet is susceptible to cyber criminal activity. The reason that a lot of these ransomware attacks go after businesses are because businesses have the ability to pay the ransom. They can get a higher payout, and they understand the impact that it's going to have on a business versus if they just go to your house or your neighbor's house and kill their internet connection or encrypt their home computer. There's not a lot of valuable data there. There's no real point. What can we do to help prevent it? If you're a business user, you put a hardware firewall appliance in place. We are a certified WatchGuard partner. If you're looking at the screen here, WatchGuard for 2021 takes home 6 2021 Cyber Defense Global InfoSec Awards. We chose to be a WatchGuard certified partner because we believe they have the best protection, the best overall package, and the best pricing where it doesn't hinder you, it doesn't vendor lock you, it doesn't make it so you're unable to support a platform you put in place, which is pretty common with a lot of the attacks that are or options that are out there to prevent attacks anyways. Again, you can go to C14G, look at us, our options if you want. We have a information window at the bottom of every page. You can just shoot us a note, or you can give us a call or email us, and we would love to help you if the opportunity arises. Going back post that article, probably the largest well-known attack was the Colonial Pipeline. Colonial Pipeline is an East Coast oil pipeline that affected, obviously, the East Coast. They were hit with ransomware for $4 million payout, and they decided to shut down 5,500 miles of square feet, or square feet, good, 5,500 miles of pipeline. It affected almost every region in the East Coast as far as gas prices and availability goes. In the end, though, they decided the CEO ended up paying the 4.4 million ransom. And I wanted to point out right here, he says he needed to quickly restore services after the cyber attack threatened East Coast supply. Okay, here's another well-known one. There's the 5,500 miles talking about. Apparently, I don't have this article anymore, so we're going to pause for a second. Okay, we're back. What I wanted to do was show the JBS meat supplier for the U.S. That this impacted the meat supply for the United States. They paid an $11 million ransom to resolve the ransomware attack. A large chunk of it was recovered because of when you pay for these ransoms, you have to pay with a Bitcoin wallet or some kind of cryptocurrency, which is supposed to be anonymous. There are changes in the pipeline coming up to prevent the anonymity. That's a tough one. Of the person paying or the person being paid, but we'll see how that goes. The long story short is right now, most cyber criminals are just using Bitcoin, asking for money through Bitcoin. So they give you a Bitcoin wallet, and I'll show you an example here. If you've ever walked up to a workstation in your network environment or your computer environment, you may have seen this or some version of it. This screenshot is from one of the most famous ransomwares called WannaCry. Obviously, if you can get the name, it makes you want to cry because everything's gone. You'll see a message here. It says, your important files are encrypted. Many of your documents, photos, videos, and databases and other large files, or I'm sorry, other files are no longer accessible because they have been encrypted. Maybe you are busy looking for a way to recover your files, but do not waste your time. Nobody can recover your files without our decryption service. And at the time that this was going through the computer industry, and this was probably, I'll say 8 years ago, this is one of the first ones. They only asked for $300 worth of Bitcoin. You can see down here. Now it's 3 million, 30,000. The number just keeps getting higher and higher because people are willing to pay it. And realistically, this last line here, nobody can recover your files without our decryption service. At the time this came out, that was true. Somebody has since cracked I believe they have, cracked the WannaCry uh, coding algorithms. So when you encrypt something, it goes through your computer and every file that you have access to, it encrypts it. And when I say it encrypts it, it puts a password to protection on the file. It's the easiest way to put it. And without that password, the file is scrambled. It makes no sense to the computer. You can't send it to get data restored. They're just going to be able to restore encrypted data. It is 100% a useless file without that password protection. Well, obviously, the fastest way to get that back is to just pay it, and you'll be restored in theory after you spend the time to do it. I've personally taken part in about 30 or so, I should say professionally. I've professionally taken part in about 30 ransomware attack and recoveries. The number one method that most IT people have is to restore from a backup. I'm going to guess in both JBS's and the Colonial Pipelines uh, methodology, they decided, you know what, it's going to either one, our backups aren't reliable, two, our backups take way too long to restore, which is very common, or three, it's just we need to get up and running, so let's just go ahead and pay it. I'm going to guess that both of those options came out as the best alternative compared to the impact of being down. I mean, when you're down, there's no salespeople making money. There's no CAD designs being shared with the floor if you're a manufacturing shop. There's no new patients if you're in the medical field because those are all via computers. And working on pen and paper is pretty hard to do with HIPAA regulations and credit card transactions and everything else that's out there today. So ransomware is a big deal. If you haven't been, I hope you're here just wondering about it or you stumbled across it from our website. If you do need help, we can attempt to help you. Like I said, we've helped plenty of times. The first thing to do is go see if that version of the cryptoware has a public key that's out there. A lot of these ethical hackers will try to make it so you can get your files back automatically. Most of the time, that's not the case. You should start restoring immediately. Be prepared. It's going to impact you depending on how much data you have. If you have databases, they might be corrupted. If you have a SAN or a NAS, you're going to have to find storage to put everything back. But what you don't want to do is go in a half functional state. You don't want your marketing department to go up because they got their first folders up, but the restore is still happening, right? Because if the restore is still happening, all those changes that were made while you were in this temporary mode, they get wiped out. All of it. There's no, you can't do in between on the IT side of things. It's either all or nothing when it comes to restores. It's one of the biggest problems called file fragmentation. Talk to your server team if you have one, whatever that case may be. And just to give you one last example, only because I have it up here, if you want to know what I'm talking about or what will happen or how this does happen, most common scenario is email or a URL that somebody clicks on. WatchGuard can protect from both. We can help protect and configure the WatchGuard so it's configured to protect from both. But I wanted to go ahead and show you my screen here, which, there it is, hit OK. So I'm going to just open up a IP address, make it nice and easy. You would typically have an S drive or an M drive or something that's one of your network shared drives. And if I can go ahead and find it, that would be terrific. So for me, I'm going to type it in right now. Maybe not. You might see on your machine is you might go to, I'm probably going to try to hide this so you can't see it. And my numlock wasn't on. So, but if you go to your network drive, it's typically your Q drive, S drive, M drive, whatever you want to call it. There's usually a marketing folder, executive folder, HR department, engineering department, and they're supposed to be locked down per the department. So, but the problem here, and executives have a tendency to fall into this quite a bit, is that they need access to Tom's folder in marketing, even though they're in finance, because Tom's on vacation. So there's a rule that gets set. The IT people make it so they can do it. but they never remove that access. So it doesn't really affect anything until next thing you know, it's too late. There we go. So for you, looking at my screen now, you would have the M drive. You would go to, if you would go to this PC, you would see either your M drive or something else hiding under there. Sorry, the mouse cursor is really finicky sometimes because I'm trying to show this via the webcam. So this is not as easy as I would like. But anyways, you would see more than just C drive down here. You might see your M drive, your Q drive, your S drive, your T drive. Many companies pick whatever drive letter works best for them. But the point being is when you go to double click on the file, this wouldn't happen. You wouldn't see the folders. Or even if you did see the folders, when you try to open a file, it would say the file can't be read, the file can't be found. There's all types of scenarios that would happen. So hopefully you never get hit with it, but I just wanted to show a general idea of what ransomware is. Hopefully I covered all the topics for you. And as always, if there's any questions, please feel free to reach out to us. Thank you.